It's a good morning to you. Welcome to Asake Online. My name is Zenzele Ndebele, and this is the Breakfast Club. We know these days we are busy with by-elections. Candidates are campaigning. Luthuli ezindaweni lapha kukhankaswa abantu bedinga ivote. Last week we had a Twitter space where we were talking to candidates in Binga, and that is Binga North. Unfortunately, one of the candidates, Prince Dubeko Sibanda, could not attend because of network challenges. So he said, no, I'll come physically so that we talk about the issues that we are supposed to talk about. So in the program today, I will be talking to Prince Dubeko Sibanda. He will be contesting at Binga North. There is a ZANU-PF candidate, MDC, then an independent. Prince won the 2018 elections by about 19,000 votes. Then he was recalled. But he's representing CCC. He's also the Matabele North Provincial Chair. So in Matabele North, there are about 7 by-elections. That's 2 constituencies and 5 local elections or ward elections. Babu Sibanda, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Zenzele. Good morning to all the viewers who are watching us today.
My first question is, you are already in the ground campaigning. And how is the mood?
I think it's not correct to say we are campaigning. We are simply reminding our supporters that there are changes that has happened between 2018 and now. Whilst in 2018 they were used to MDC alliance that had a symbol of a palm with the face of Chamisa inside. Now it is different. We have got a new party, we have got new symbols, and therefore, basically, we are doing voter education. We are not campaigning because our base is solid. So it is a matter of ensuring that our base is informed properly of where to put their eggs.
So you are declaring that when you have already won this election, you are just reminding people of the right place to place their eggs.
Only death can stop me from being declared duly elected member of parliament on the 26th of March. I don't foresee anything else that can stop me from getting into parliament because I am the representative of the people. I'm the community's choice to continue to represent them in parliament. So indeed, I'm declaring that on 26th of March, I'll be duly elected member of parliament for Binga North.
Sibanda sifuna befeyinte lapha ama-results ebuya.
Bazafeyinta abe-ZANU-PF.
Not wena.
Abasoze beyekele ukufeyinta abe-ZANU-PF because i-ZANU-PF i-parliamentary candidate yabo ngo-2018 ibithole 7,000. Lo abamfake khathesi angafika ku-4,000. Hayi sizamqhakazela izandla sizakuthi usebenzile. So yibo abangaqaleka thina. We are not going to faint because we look forward to actually increase our tally from the 19,000 to 25, 26, 27,000. And abantu basukumela phezulu. People are emotional about this election. To them, it is a referendum. To them, it is a trial run for the 2023 general election. So, yes, we are going to see people going up, standing up, rising up and going to vote in big numbers.
So you mentioned that you are conscientizing people about the changes in the name and the symbol. And there's always this perception with, I know people in Makaya, they don't get information, so it will be difficult for them to differentiate between MDC, Alliance, and CCC. In your engaging with the people, are they clear? Do they know what's going on?
You know, it is a myth to think that I want to be Makaya. Somehow I have got lower IQ than people in urban areas. Indeed, we accept that information doesn't flow as much as it does in urban areas. But guess what? We have our own traditional means of passing information between villages and between people in rural areas. You know, you drive by in all the rural areas now, you see everyone raising the finger. And then you begin to wonder, where are people getting all this information? People are aware because this is their project. It is not someone's project which is being imposed on them. It is a project that comes from the people themselves, and they are quite aware. Yes, we are just making sure that nobody's left behind. We are just making sure that everyone else gets to know exactly what is supposed to be voted for, who is supposed to be voted for on the 26th of March. And we are doing a good job in that regard. We are reaching out basically to everyone. We are going village by village. We are not going to hold those mass rallies. We are going to reach out to the individual, at the homestead level. Our teams are going village by village, homestead by homestead. So we think that there will be very, very few stray votes. Our fight in this current election is a fight against apathy, is a fight against stray votes. So I think we are doing very well in that regard, and I think we are going to meet our target.
Rural constituencies are usually huge.
Indeed.
How big is your constituency?
My constituents, for those that know Binga physically, it starts from 10 of Mlibizi, those who know Mlibizi Resort. So from that point up to the boundary with Gokwe, boundary with Kariba, and then boundary with Zambia. That's how big it is. It stretches a distance of almost 210 kilometers from the starting point up to the ending point.
That is a huge constituency.
It is very, very huge indeed. It is very, very huge. We have got 15 wards. Yeah. Unlike most of our urban counterparts, where you find one councillor is equivalent, one ward is equivalent to a constituency, we sit on 15 wards. And you find that each ward has got a radius of almost 10 to 15 kilometers. So indeed, it is a massive a geographical piece of land that we have to cover. It's a huge piece of land that we need to cover.
So that then, the huge the area is, it means that you have to travel long distances, and your party doesn't have resources from parliament. How easy is it for you to fundraise and to run around with the campaign costs?
It is not very easy, Zenzele. It is not very easy. But look, you try to adapt to a situation that you find yourself in. You will realize that we came up with a fundraising mechanism. I think we were the first in Binga North to come up with the Friends of Binga North initiative. And the party then went on also to partner us with DMV branch in the United States of America. So we have got a lot of friends that we've got goodwill, on Binga itself as a place, but we also have got personal friends, those people who believe in my leadership, and more so being the provincial chairperson, everyone feels that being the leader of the party in the province, there is no way that I can then fail to do campaigns in my own constituents. So we have really received so much assistance from our party members, including the citizens themselves that are in Binga North. They feed us, they give us places to sleep. Remember, because of the distance, my homestead is at the far end, close to the boundary with Gokwe and Kariba, and so when I'm campaigning the other side, I don't sleep and travel from my homestead. I have to come and sleep this other side of the constituency, in order for me to have easy access to the people. So yes, we are getting so much assistance that we can't complain. We are, as much as ZANU PF and its proxy MDC alliance are cash rich, we are going to meet them pound for pound. Our strategies take into consideration the fact that we have got less resources than them, but they are more effective and we are more efficient in the use of our resources.
So you going around and you've been to parliament, you're now going back. What is the message that you're telling the people? What are you promising them that if you get to parliament, these are the things that you're going to look into?
For starters, we have to look at the historical issues of the people of Binga North. You know that in around 1958, if I'm not mistaken, our people's lifestyle was disrupted. Our people were river people. They used to live along the Zambezi River. But in order to accommodate the construction of the Kariba Dam, they were moved from the banks of the river, where they used to farm throughout the year. Okay? And they were then thrown into some dry, arid areas that are far away from the river. The promise was that water was going to follow you. Okay? If you look at our counterparts in the southern province of Zambia, you find that they were compensated. The then government compensated them. You find that if you go to Zambia, the southern province has got very good infrastructure in terms of road network, education, and so on and so forth. It was because of the compensation that was done then. It never happened to us. Okay? And then when we got into independence in 1980, basically we became systematically and deliberately marginalized by the ZANU-PF government up to date. If you look at us, it is not by coincidence that since 1980 up to today, ZANU-PF has never appointed a person from Binga to become a minister, a deputy minister, PEMSEC, or something of that sort. It doesn't really mean that people in Binga are uneducated. We have highly qualified and capable people that are doing very well in other sectors of our economy. But because ZANU-PF sees us not as part and parcel of them or as part and parcel of the country, they deliberately marginalize us. And it is a concern, and it is a message that we are saying to the people. ZANU-PF doesn't belong to you. You know, Mnangagwa always say, chinu chine bene bacho. So, bene bacho are not us, the Tonga. Okay? And therefore, the message is very clear. The only party that is likely going to recognize us and also take us equally like all other citizens is the party of Morgan Tsvangirai, currently led by Nelson Chamisa. This party has already shown during the GNU, during that 4-year period, for the first time in 42 years since independence, a Tonga politician was appointed to become a minister. And you know why that is important. Development trajectory in Zimbabwe is such that anyone who is appointed into cabinet and has got access to the budget, they will try to develop their own area first before they develop anywhere else in Zimbabwe. And therefore, you find that areas where nobody has been appointed to become a minister, in terms of development, they'll be always lagging behind. And it is not by coincidence that Binga is one of the most underdeveloped districts in the country. The reasons are clear. It is because we've been systematically marginalized by this current government that is there. And because of that, the people have got to stick to a party that is likely going to recognize them today and in the future. And that party is CCC. And that message is resonating with the people. We have got evidence to show that indeed ZANU-PF doesn't care about us as a people of Binga. You know, look into Binga. Since 1980, we've got only one government school, and that's Binga High School. Since 1980. Every infrastructure, including the school infrastructure that you see on Twitter, of course, at times people say it is embarrassing. But those are efforts that are done by the communities themselves to try and assist our own children to get to school. We make our own little efforts to build those poor infrastructure. Government has never assisted us. And because government has not assisted us, we have got no reason to associate ourselves with the party that is in government currently. And that message is resonating.
There is a bit of natural resource in talking about the Zambezi River, fishing, talking about tourism. Our communities benefiting from these resources?
We haven't really been benefiting much. If you look at fishing, for example, right now, if you come and take stock of who is fishing, okay, because permits for fishing are issued in Harare.
So for you to go and fish in Binga,
you have to get a permit in Harare.
You have to get a permit in Harare.
And all the offices that are in Harare are not occupied by anyone who's Tonga. For starters, to go and have access to those offices, it's difficult, if not impossible. And therefore, those who have got easy access to the offices in Harare are the ones that are fishing in Binga. I'm quite sure that the percentage of local people that are benefiting from the fishing industry in terms of directly being business people there is less than 10%. Okay. When it comes to tourism, it is the same thing. Tourism is suffering because of a poor road network. Very few people would want to drive to Binga and want to go back again after using the road that we have. The road is so potholed, it's so bad, up to Binga Center. Beyond Binga Center, it is all gravel, poor gravel roads, literally impassable. So yes, we have got wildlife. We have got our own culture as a tourism attraction. We have got the only sand beach in this country, but accessibility to those is almost impossible. And those are areas that we think we are going to explore when we get into government in 2023 to make Binga a gel of this country.
Yeah, you've been talking as a candidate in Binga, but you're also the Binga North chair. Yes. And there are elections in Cholocho and these 7 wards. How much time do you have to oversee what's going on in other areas?
I'm currently en route to Cholocho to just go and see how our campaign teams have been doing there. What I did when the by-elections were proclaimed, we then had to form teams from our provincial executive to go and lead the various campaigns in the various areas. Cholocho South campaign is being led by the deputy chairperson of the province. The campaigns in Victoria Falls are being led by the youth chairperson and the secretary for elections in the province. In Bobi, we have the provincial organizing secretary, the provincial treasurer, and the deputy provincial organizing secretary. They are busy there on the ground. I have taken a week off from my own campaigns because I know that I have already done the damage. I can go and sleep now, Zenzele, and wake up the member of parliament on the 27th of March. So I'm taking this week to just go all over the other areas where by-elections are taking place to go and see how my teams are doing, and also to make a fair assessment and improve where we need to improve, because I strongly believe that we are going to get more than 50% of the seats where we are contesting.
That's another declaration, and we'll be working. Yeah, because
I can tell you without doubt that news that is filtering from Cholocho South is actually quite good. Our candidate there is a community candidate. He has served his community for a long time in the position of headmaster. So literally every teacher in Cholocho South and outside Cholocho South who has got access to the people in Cholocho is campaigning for that candidate. And because of that, I'm seeing that our prospects of taking Cholocho South from ZANU-PF are very, very high. Okay. And beyond that, if you look at Bubi, we have got a ward in Bubi that has got 64 registered voters only. That is Ward 6 of Bubi, 64 registered voters. And my team has been able to reach out to each and every one of those registered voters. Okay. And the possibility of us getting more than 50% of those 64 registered voters is very, very high. The monopoly that ZANU-PF used to have in farming areas is going to be broken. And yes, because of that, I am confident that I can make those declarations that we are going to get over 50% of the contested. Victoria Falls is not an issue. We are not even going to talk about Ward 1 and Ward 6 of Victoria Falls. Those are foregone conclusions that we are going to take them.
So how do you have a word with the 64 registered
It's
voters?
funny. It's quite funny, Zenzele. I don't really understand how this thing works, that we can have one councillor that is presiding. But those are merely shenanigans that were done by ZANU-PF in order, because remember at one time, the opposition was in control of Bubikan's RDC. And in order to try and extend the number of councillors for ZANU-PF, then they had to demarcate the wards, and then created this funny ward with only 64 registered voters. And look, it doesn't make sense then to have one councillor that has got 3,000 registered voters in their ward going to sit and be regarded as people that are at par with one that has got only 64 registered voters. I think that's something that needs to be looked into in a very serious way. I look forward to ZEC is having its first multi-party liaison committee meeting in Binga North on Wednesday. So I think those are some of the issues that we are going to raise when we meet with ZEC, to say, but how does that happen?
So you are campaigning now, assuming you win. In less than a year, you're back again on the campaign trail.
Yeah. For us, it is good that ZANU-PF tried to play games by delaying these by-elections. It gives us an opportunity, Zenzele, to fine-tune our systems as a political party. You will realize that we failed to field a candidate in Ward 14 of Umguza. Okay. And we've learned a big lesson out of that. And those lessons are lessons that are going to be very critical when it comes to the watershed elections of 2023, because we strongly believe that what happened in Zambia is going to happen in Zimbabwe in 2023. And therefore, there should be no room for mistakes. And therefore, this has come as a godsend opportunity for us to deal with those mistakes that are prone, when you're going for elections.
Yeah, as a candidate, I like your confidence, because you're really confident. Probably you know your people. But maybe lastly, looking at the word that you didn't field, candidate, are we likely to see more of those in 2023 or less of those?
In Mat North, as long as I remain the provincial chairperson of Mat North, you will not see any single word that won't be fielded. In fact, our failure to field a candidate in Ward 14 has opened huge opportunities for us. We have now come to identify that we had a weakness in terms of our structure in that particular area. And in the process, some stronger, better people that are ready to serve the party in that area have come up. We might actually surprise ZANU-PF in Umguza parliamentary elections in 2023. Because of that mistake that happened.
So a few days ago, we saw the violence that happened in a rally in Kwekwe. And violence has always been part of the elections in Zimbabwe. But in your campaigning so far, have you met any challenges of violence, intimidation, or things like that?
We happen to be the majority in Binga, we have an overwhelming majority, such that there is none that can attempt to do any kind of violence at all. ZANU-PF are a minority. They control less than 10% of the population in Binga North. What we have witnessed are intimidations that are around false reports of insulting or undermining the authority of the president. We have had a couple of our cadres being arrested under those spurious charges. So that's what we have witnessed. But we also have received information pertaining to my personal safety. Twice we have received information to say, don't travel on your own. Don't sleep at Binga Center. Something is being plotted against you. And that information is actually coming from security forces, because security forces have become part and parcel of the citizens. The suffering that the citizens are going through, they are also going through the same. So I think because it is no longer the same situation that we used to have, where we thought ZRP, CIO, soldiers, all ZANU-PF. No, it has changed. They are now moving with the citizens. They are suffering like everybody else. So information is coming. So beside those threats, I think we have had a fair opportunity to campaign in Binga North. I haven't received any reports anywhere else in the other areas where we are campaigning of intimidation. And basically the reason why we can't be intimidated is because we are the majority. If there's anyone who's going to intimidate, it is us that is supposed to intimidate ZANU-PF. But look, because we are a democratic movement, we don't believe in intimidating. We allow them free space to also sell their ideas, which are no longer sellable. You know, you can't fool a person for 42 years and expect them to be continuing believing your lies. It can't happen.
So finally, what is your message to the voter?
My message to the voters dotted around the 6 places where we are voting in Matabele North is to say, there is no better opportunity than now to show ZANU-PF that your vote is the one that allows a government or a local authority or a parliamentarian to be in the place where they are. Let us all rise. Let's not allow apathy to hold us back. Let us all rise. Let us go and express ourselves. It is only through that way that we can begin to benefit out of our resources as a country, our resources as a province. Look at what is happening in Zambia. Just in a few months that the people exercise their right to vote, things are changing. Things are getting better. The Kwacha and the Rand are almost at par now. And where is our useless RTGS? At one time, someone said it is the strongest currency in the SADC region. But right now, not a soldier, not even a CIO, not even a teacher is happy to get a wage that comes through an SMS. So yes, we can end all those problems through voting, because those problems are not nature created. They are created by men. So I encourage all the voters to stand up and be counted on the 26th of March.
Thank you very much. That was Prince Dubeko Sibanda. Is the candidate for Binga North in the upcoming by-elections. You know, I always like talking to politicians because they take you to, you know, the 26th of March. uSibanda uthe yena sengazilalela evuke nje mhla ka-27 esengu-MP. So yeah, we'll be following the elections, and I hope we will join him on the 20th. Uthe mhla ka-2 yabe sele celebration.
Yes, you are invited to the celebrations on the 2nd of April. Our committee is already in place that is working on the logistics and everything that has to be done, because that celebration will be there.
So we'll meet you at Binga mhla ka-2 April, where we'll be witnessing uSibanda engu-MP. And he says there's no room for mistakes. So that's why I say I like his confidence. So we'll be covering other candidates as well. And if you're a candidate and you want to share with us your plan, your manifesto, please feel free. Tina askhethi hlangothi uyabuya ngoweZANU, ngoweZAPU, ngowe-CCC. You come, we discuss. Because our idea is to give people a platform so that they share with the audience their plans and their manifestos, and the people are going to choose. So we are giving people a choice to choose from the candidate they want. My name is Zenzele Ndebele. Till we meet again in other programs, have a good day.